ready to have some fun? I think it's time to light this candle and get this damn show on the road.
Looking a little ordinary? Is it lacking something awesome? Well, head out to your local liquor store and pick up something extraordinary. Grab a bottle of Old Humble Straight Whiskey or Old Humble Special Reserve. They're clean, smooth, easy drinking whiskeys that taste the way whiskey should taste. From humble beginnings to an extraordinary finish, Old Humble whiskeys are what your bar needs today. Walk tall, be awesome, and drink humble. Old Humble Straight Whiskey and Old Humble Special Reserve. Get yours today.
That's right, folks. Grab your bottle of Old Humble whiskey today. If it's near you, in a store near you, that is fantastic. If it's not in a store near you, that sucks. You need to move to a better state, or just be patient and let me get my bottles to you in your state in the next. I don't know. What are we gonna say? Let's say 10 to 12 months. 12 to 18 months. Give me 18 months. I'm working on it. I'm working on adding a few states, a few outlets. I am the Old Humble guy. Let's disperse with the niceties, the blah 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 about finding the bottles and all that. We'll get to that in a minute. I'm the Old Humble guy. I am your host, your spirit guide, your bad influence for the night. Your friendly neighborhood sin merchant, if you will. And even if you won't, I'm still your friendly neighborhood sin merchant. I'm still adjusting this camera just a little bit. I nudged it earlier today. I bumped it, and it is all over the damn map right now. I had it before I start the show. Y'all may not know this. Y'all may not believe this when I tell you this. But before the show starts, I actually go through and do a checkup on the tech and make sure that everything's in the right spot, that the lights are on, the fan is running, and I'm not getting burned out in this room. I'm going to have my opening shot. I am drinking our Double Oak Straight Rye for the night. But yeah, make sure everything's working, that the microphone is plugged in and charged up, and the camera's on and pointed the right direction, and all the stuff. I do sound checks and all that shit to make sure everything's working. And then inevitably something happens. I bump into something. I have to go and everything changes. So that's it. Cheers, everybody. Welcome to the show on this Wednesday night. I've been working all day in the distillery, finishing up the bar. There will be a reveal to the bar tomorrow or maybe Friday. I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet. But it's done. Doodads, knickknacks, baubles, all. The only thing that I'm waiting on right now is for it to dry. The top coat for the bar top is drying. Y'all saw it in its nearly finished form yesterday when I was working on it. You saw it in its nearly finished form. I had a couple of more coats of varnish to put on the bar top, and the top coat, the finish, to put on the bar top and the bar surface. And I had one more accent piece. If you look closely, you'll see something missing back here. There had been something back here. If you look closely and you're observant, you know what the accent piece is. And if you've been with me long enough, you know that the accent piece used to be up here, but I replaced what was up here with my company sign there. And this was the perfect spot for this thing that I wanted at the distillery. It's exactly where I wanted it to be. And that's where it's at. I'm very happy. It looks great. Looks fantastic. I can give you a little sneak preview if you really want to see it. Let me see if I can find a little sneak preview. Oh, this is a good one. Look at this. This is the view from inside the bar. This is the view from inside the bar. Look at that. Look at that. And that doesn't do it justice because it is. I mean, seriously, you're gonna have to see this thing tomorrow. If I stream tomorrow afternoon before I go to the trade, so I've got a trade show to go to. Okay, so let's do the details. Let's get the housekeeping on all the stuff. This is my tired brain working. I've been running around getting. This has been a very busy week. So starting, let's see here. Tomorrow I have a trade show that I'm going to. If you're in the Humble area, you want to see a taste of the town. A bunch of food vendors, drink vendors, a bunch of restaurateurs, and everybody are going to gather into the Civic Center, and we're going to be peddling our wares. Uh, I can't sell whiskey, but I can give out samples, and there is a prize for best beverage. I'm already in contention for that prize because what is everybody else going to be giving out? Malted shakes and smoothies. I have got whiskey, by God, whiskey samples and I mean, I've got the shit. Yeah, none of this like, you have your soda pop. Whatever. Nobody likes soda pop. And they don't even call it soda pop. We're in fucking Texas. It's Coke. It's Coke or it's something other than Coke. And if you don't call it Coke, we know you're not from around here anyway, so it's fine. Welcome to the party square table. We got a whole full house already. We've got Easy Street with Jen, Bimbo, Barbarella. Mostly this first 15 minutes or so is me just wasting time to make sure that everybody gets in to the show to see the actual topic that I'm talking about. So I'm just kind of spinning my wheels and talking for a minute. Thursday, that's tomorrow, we have the trade show. The trade show runs till 8. I may not be home in time to do trivia, which is why I haven't posted up a trivia live stream for tomorrow night yet. We may have to put trivia off till next week. Trivia may start late. I'm not sure yet how trivia is going, but that's the most important reason you should be subscribed and have your notification bell pushed so that when we do go live and when we do schedule these things, you'll be notified, and B, if I have to change the schedule last minute, you'll be notified again, and it'll be cool. But I'm not 100% sure we're going to get trivia done tomorrow night, simply because the schedule's going to just be hectic for most of the day. And then Friday, we have live music returning to the Old Humble Distilling Company. It is the first Friday night of fall. Tomorrow night's the first day of fall. The fall equinox days and nights are equal amount, equal length. And first day of fall. And then Friday we have music starting back at the distillery. I haven't posted that live video, but it will be live. Music starts at 7. The stream will probably start around 6:30 or so. We have a voter registration drive going on at the distillery. Doors open at 5. Voter registration drive starts at 5. Music starts at 7, runs till 10. Same old circles. Returning champions coming back to... do I have that graphic? Do I have the graphic? Is it that one? There it is. It says 62420. That's the wrong. Oh, damn it. That's the wrong damn one. Let me see if I can find the right one. Is that it? Is that the one? Did I fix it? Nope. Let's try it again. That says 624. Browse. One more time. Is it this one? It also says 624. Did I fuck up the graphic? That's not the right graphic. Browse. Let's try this again. Do that one. There it is. All right. Same old circles. Let's make this bigger. Come on. Give me the graphic. There it is. Make it bigger. Boom, boom, boom. So yeah, 9/23/2022. That is Friday. This Friday. Tomorrow. 2 days from now. Tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but tomorrow's tomorrow. We got these guys playing again, and it's gonna just. They're fucking awesome. They're the best. Well, one of the best. They're among the best. They are some of my favorite performers from. Very tired. A bunch of varnish in my nose. One of my favorite performers from the spring series. These guys are great. I'm looking forward to the show. We'll be live. We'll be live Friday night. I haven't posted out the video yet, but we will have that video posted um, by probably tomorrow morning. Probably is my hunch. I don't know. That sounds like a good time to do it. Um, but there you go. And then tonight, of course, tonight we're talking about smoked cocktails. I got this cool little kit. It was like only $30, something like that. $35 something like that. That's the instructions of how to do it. But it's a small little kit. Not a, yeah, I mean, not nothing, nothing extravagant. It's not one of those domes or anything like that. This is just a simple butane lighter with wood chips. It has 4 different sets of wood chips. We'll talk about all that in a minute. This is not a product endorsement or a product review. This is simply me exploring the world of smoked cocktails. And I mean, y'all know me. I'm a noted curmudgeon. I'm just cranky about general things in general. I like my whiskey to be nice and simple. If I want a smoky whiskey, I'll go buy a fucking smoky whiskey. Uh, but, well, let's get into the show, shall we? Let's just get into the topic. Cheers to everybody in chat. Let me scroll up chat and see who's here. I think I see Solitude Surfer in that. Is that Solitude Surfer? No, that's Square Table Degenerates. You get to see my gorgeous baby blue eyes. Look at that. They look very blue right now in the light, which is why I have the shades on, because it's the light's really bright and it hurts my eyes. But we got a handful of people in chat. We got a handful of people everywhere else. We have Easy Street with Jen, Bimbo, Barbarella, Top Shelf Justin, Cheers, Square Table Degenerates. Welcome. Sell a map to the bathroom for $30 and give away a free bottle. Actually, the bathroom is fun story about that. We were supposed to be not going to be here long. I will keep you up, but I'm. Oh well, thank you, Joe STD. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, hang out for as long as you can. My half. Let's see. Your half kegs would make great seats. Just add a seat with batting covered woods and leather as a oh yeah. Actually, that would be a really cool idea. Take the barrels, cut them in half, cut a little seat, and then and put legs on them. They would make really cool chairs. That's actually a really good idea. Um, but I'm gonna be turning my barrels into um, planters first for my lovely wife, because she wants a garden, and then we will do other. We'll sell the barrels. We're going to do stuff to the barrels and sell them for arts and crafts and shit like that. Anyway, but let's get on with the show, shall we? Let's get on with it. Let's do the thing. I'm going to try. Well, I keep saying I'm going to do this. Oh yeah, don't forget, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all that stuff. We're on the march to 1,000 subscribers. I'm hoping we get there by the end of the year, because if we get there in the cold months, the kangaroos are going to be a little bit slower. And when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to fight a kangaroo. That's the deal. We hit 700 subscribers by the 750 by the end of August, I think it was, and I dyed my beard blue. I was threatening to cut my wife's hair off when she slept, and she threatened to murder me if I did that. So I chose not to do that. But I have also told her that I will dye her hair blue while she's sleeping, because I have a lot of that blue dye. She also informed me that that would risk murder. And I like to, among my hobbies in my spare time and my free time, of which I don't have a lot of, but among my hobbies in my free time, not being on fire is probably number one. Not being dead is probably a very, very close second. And then, you know, drinking whiskey and hanging out at the distillery is a very close third behind those two primary ones. So, things that would make me either A, be caught on fire, or B, turned into a dead person are things that I generally try to avoid. And top on the list of both of those is cutting off my wife's hair and or turning it blue. So, yeah, that's not going to happen anytime soon. Although, the truth is, if I snuck in and dyed her hair blue on a Friday night, she might not know it until Saturday night because, she gets up in the morning and she goes for a walk, and she does like housekeeping stuff, and like she sits down and she starts to read and she eats. If me and the boys kept our mouth shut all day Saturday, we might just get away with it. I keep looking over here because the door's over here, and if by some off chance she's either A, listening, which she's not, or B, watching, which she's probably not, she would come to the door and give me dirty looks, and she's not doing that. So I'm in the clear. So anyway, moral of that story is subscribe, and we'll get up to 1,000 subscribers. When we get up to 1,000 subscribers, I'll go fight a kangaroo. And that's the plan. That's the plan, and I'm developing this plan. I'm working on this plan, trying to figure out how to pull it off. And me, guys from a very early age, we know how to pull things off. Sexual innuendo joke there. Anyway, that would be double entendre. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, she'll find out unless she. Okay, so the other thing that I keep threatening to do is take this show and kind of cut it down into smaller bits. And here's the thing that I've had a problem with cutting the show down into smaller bits, like taking just the clip of the topical part of the show, is that like I have the logo and I have the crawl across the bottom and the logo over here, and I have this and I have this, and I just have like all the stuff. So I'm gonna get rid of all that. Normally what I would do is have a scene that's just the camera, but I'm stupid and didn't do that. But what I'm going to do is live right now, new window. Wow, that's almost what I want. So this is the chat. I'm going to close that. Yep, bye. This is me. I'm going to open this. This is just me. There we go. Audio. Test 1, 2, 3. I'm going to turn this audio up a little bit because now it's quieter than it should be. Now I'm going to get it back up where it should be. That should be good. Yeah, that's good. Okay. That's a little bit too much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, brother and sister. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with this scene that we have right here and go back to the title screen and then come back here. And we're going to act like this. I'm going to like do a live recording of this segment. And then I'm going to take this, cut it down, and post it up into a recorded 15-minute whatever segment. So we'll start with the intro. I'm going to move up to the intro. One more shot. There we go. All right. Shh. Don't say anything. Don't, like, we're live recording on the set, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about, I'll introduce y'all first. We're going to talk about smoked cocktails, and as right of introduction to the smoked cocktails. So this little kit, it had some metal whiskey stones, has 4 different types of wood. Apple, pecan, apple, walnut, cherry, and pecan. Has a little smoking hat that has a little basket in it. And I've already made a drink, so it's got a little charring on it. But it has a little wooden basket that you put on top of your drink, like so. Has a little shovel for the cute little shovel for the wood. A little pipe cleaner thing for the basket. Come here, pipe cleaner, get out of here. A little pipe cleaner thing for the basket. And of course the butane torch right there. And as a point of introduction for you fine folks, my loyal and gorgeous viewers, I was always skeptical about smoking cocktails because your nose and your tongue work together so much. If you smoke that wood and the wood gets up into the air and it gets into your nose, you're already tasting a smoky concoction. You're taking a drag on your cigarette and taking a drink of your drink. There's that head of smoke on the glass itself, and you're putting your nose in the glass and you're taking the drink and you're, all of that stuff is kind of working together. I didn't think that it was really doing anything to the alcohol itself. And as an outspoken and proud curmudgeon who doesn't think that doing things needs to be done. If you want a fancy drink, get a fancy drink. You want a cocktail, get a cocktail. If you want a whiskey that tastes like that, get a whiskey that tastes like that. Don't take this whiskey, make it taste like that. Why are you doing, you don't need to spend money to make that whiskey taste like the other whiskey. Just get the other whiskey. It's cheaper that way anyway. The kids can still get off my lawn, but I'm happy to announce, after doing the research of actual smoke and how it affects the flavor, and if it actually does affect the flavor, and if the compounds actually get it. I mean, this is a real fucking thing. It's not in your head. It's not imaginary. It's not show. I mean, there's a lot of showmanship involved, but it's a real thing. It actually does stuff to the liquid. It's not just the air above the liquid. It does stuff to the liquid, and there are ways you can do it to make it more effective. So, with that introduction, I'm going to kick it back over to the intro scene, and we're going to come back into the show, and y'all will see. I'm going to try and record this segment live. I don't have a script or anything. It's going to be a shit show. You know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to jump into the thing. We're going to keep all my stuff and I'll just jump into the fucking thing. All right. So here's the thing with, Oh, no, I'm going to try it. No, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. Okay. Introduction. I'll give 5 seconds intro, and then we'll come into the show. Nope, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong damn thing. What happened? That's not... Oh, you know what? I know what I did. Whoops. You know what happened? I know what happened. Browse. Yep. There we go. Fixed it. Okay, we're going to go 5 seconds again. Ready? Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, children of all ages, I am the Old Humble Guy, and today, right now, we're talking about smoked cocktails. What is a smoked cocktail? Well, a smoked cocktail is simply a cocktail that you add smoke to. You get one of these cool little kits that has a little wooden hat, has a little mesh insert in your little wooden hat. And what you do is first you start with the alcohol. You start with the drink. And for today's drink, I'm going to use my straight whiskey. My straight whiskey is a lightly aged whiskey. So what we'll do is we'll start with the straight whiskey, and I'm just going to throw in a simple single shot of whiskey to the glass. Throw in a simple single shot of whiskey to the glass. Nothing else, no additional anything else to the glass. There we go. And so what you do when you're doing a smoked whiskey, a smoked cocktail, you simply take the chips, and I'm going to go with walnut. No, you know what? I'm going to go with apple. So this particular kit that we have, that I picked up, it was a $25, $30 kit. I can't remember the exact price, but it was off Amazon, and it was a fairly affordable kit. It came with four different types of wood. We have walnut, cherry, apple, and pecan. And of course, what's going to happen is you're going to smoke the wood. I have my butane torch. It comes in a nice carrying kit. I'm going to go with apple wood because this whiskey tastes really good with apple juice, apple cider, apple flavorings in general. And I'm just going to take one. I have a little shovel, comes in the kit. I'm going to take one scoop of apple pellets here, just apple wood, and put it in there. And then you take your torch, you light the torch, and I'm going to show you. This is going to be really cool. When I put the hat on the, it's a very cool presentation. Watch this. So you got to light this up for about a minute, 30 seconds to a minute. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Make sure it's good and lit. 20, 21, 22, 23. We'll go with 23 seconds. Now you look at the cup, the glass already starts to fill up with smoke. Smoke just cascades down into the glass there. And so I was always skeptical myself as to how much of that smoke was actually getting into the whiskey and how much of that smoke was sitting up there on top, just sitting there on top, so that you'd basically take a big mouthful of smoke, a big nose full of smoke and a mouthful of smoke. But when I started actually looking at the science, there's a term that pops up called, actually several different terms that pop up. Thermomigration, thermomitosis, there's a third one that I cannot remember the exact. I can never remember the actual word. But basically what happens is the flavor from the smoke. So what's in the smoke is compounds from the wood. Volatile compounds from the wood, the sugars, the tannins, the proteins, and all the things that go in the wood that come out and give the smoke a scent and a flavor. You can taste it on your tongue. The scent of the smoke is all in that the compounds that are in the smoke. And what happens is those compounds actually get onto the liquid, and they get trapped in the liquid, and then it moves from the warm part of the liquid, which would be the top that's closest to the smoke, and it actually moves through the liquid down into the cooler part of the liquid. Thermomigration, thermomitosis. And there's a third term for it, which I cannot remember what it is. Thermometamorphosis is a possibility. But there are ways you can actually make this more intense of a flavor that mixes in with the whiskey as well. You can use a shaker and increase the surface area of the whiskey that comes in contact with the smoke by using the shaker and shaking it up. You can use a piece of ice that has been soaked in the smoke. The smoke basically condenses onto the ice, and the surface of the ice becomes coated in smoke. And you can take those, well, not the smoke, the compounds from the smoke. You put the ice in there, and it slowly melts into it. If the ice melts in the smoking process, then the liquid that it melts off the ice, the water, can be refrozen into a smoky block of ice. But simply taking this and swishing it around and stirring it up a little bit, definitely, distinctly, and after just a couple of, it's been a minute or so, a couple of minutes, so I take that off of there, and then, of course, it's going to have a big smoky nose. There's a band of smoke right here at the top, condensation and smoke up there at the top. As soon as you take it off, the breeze in the room kind of wafts the smoke out of there, but the scent of the applewood is still in there, and the flavor travels through. It actually does travel from the surface of the whiskey into the actual body of the whiskey. So when you actually do take a drink, you're not just taking a drink with a mouthful of smoke. You're taking a drink with smoke that is actually condensed onto the surface and into. With meat, it gets into like the first quarter inch or so of the meat, but with a liquid that has a different differential in, even if it's a small differential in temperature from the top to the bottom, you will get a transfer of the flavors from the top to the bottom, and it will move in more than a quarter inch. But even if it is just a quarter of an inch, when you have a simple shot of whiskey in a glass neat, a quarter of an inch is really all you need. So, as a noted curmudgeon, who oftentimes is very resistant to doing things in general, I'm very resistant to cocktails, because, if you got to spend, I don't want to be the guy who's spending 15, 20 minutes making cocktails for people when all I want to do is have a drink. But for a cocktail, if this is your normal standard practice of changing the flavor of your whiskey, buy different whiskey. But if you like to have a smoky cocktail. You can do this with any kind of mixer. You can do this with a Bloody Mary mixer. You can do this with old fashions. You can take the old fashioned juice, the simple syrup that you use to make your old fashioned. You can put it in a barrel and get an even more intense flavor to um, the old fashioned mix that you're using to make your old fashioned. You can do the same thing with the whiskey if you're so inclined. But um, having a contrast in flavors, just using, I mean, if you want an oakier flavor to your whiskey, you can use the oak. But if you want a different flavor, use the pecan, use the apple. I have apple, I have pecan, I have walnut, and you can get these ordered online individually in an individual kit, in an individual packet as well. Um, Explore, experiment, and play. I, I mean, I can't tell. I've become a true believer over the course of the last 48 hours. When this kit came in and I started playing with it, just out of an abundance of curiosity. The kit comes in, I started playing with it, and you know, this is not at all sponsored by any company, which is why I'm not telling you what the company is. um, but I mean, you can go to Amazon, you can find it. It's pretty affordable. Um, but out of an abundance of curiosity and a high level, a very healthy amount of skepticism, I started playing with this, and I started wondering, like, is it going to do anything? And I didn't just go to Diageo and the other places that are typically trying to sell you this kind of nonsense. Um, I went to barbecue cook-off team websites to find out about smoking meat and how the smoking process worked for meat and whether or not the smoking process for meat worked the same for liquids. And it turns out that the same process for smoking meat is kind of the process they use to make liquid smoke. Um, and that's kind of how it works. Is you just basically you're basically condensing smoke onto a cool surface or a cooler surface. You have really cool meat and really hot smoke, and it condenses the smoke onto the surface of the meat, and it kind of permeates not just through the surface, but into the skin. And it kind of does the same. That's kind of the same basic principle that's working with whiskey. It's a cool surface. It's a warm smoke. The smoke from this thing isn't nearly as hot as the smoke in a meat smoker, but it's the same basic principle. The hot the hot smoke touches the cool surface, and it moves from the warmer part of the top surface to the cooler part inside the body of the glass, and that's how your whiskey gets smoked. And I'm telling you, as a healthy dose of skepticism in my life, and a noted curmudgeon, this is it's a really cool way to spice up your cocktails. An absolutely cool way to spice up your cocktails. Even my lovely wife, hey baby, even my lovely wife, I gave her one of these Applewood. Uh, hey baby, I'm not sure if she's still in the living room or not. Let me send her a quick text. We'll cut this part out. Uh, when you want to call your when you want to call your man, what do you say? Hey, lover boy. Come here, lover boy. She'll like this one. This is apple. Apple and our straight whiskey. She'll really enjoy it. So, what I was saying is, even my lovely wife, who doesn't typically drink whiskey neat, when she had her first sip of the Applewood smoked straight whiskey. With the Applewood smoked straight whiskey, would you like this?
Sure, I'm glad you didn't whistle for me this time.
I did twice, but you didn't hear me. Yeah, she was in the bathroom.
Oh, it smells like a fireplace.
So this is my lovely wife, the Mrs. Old Humble Guy. The Old Humble Gal.
Hello.
There you go. She says
I am not screen worthy.
she is not screen worthy, although she is gorgeous. You just gonna have to trust me on this. You just have
In
to
your
trust
eyes.
me. Gorgeous. She likes the
I just
apple.
want to sniff it. Can I sniff it?
Yeah, you can sniff it. um,
So you did the applewood again?
you got applewood, my
The
love.
same one that you did last night.
Indeed. So she enjoys the applewood. She's not a big fan of whiskey neat, but she definitely enjoys a lightly smoked apple straight, an applewood straight
Okay,
whiskey.
This is heavier than the first one you did last
And
night.
this was
but
heavy-
lighter than the second one you did.
This was a little bit heavier smoke than the one that I gave her last night, but the final determination for this particular one.
Better because it was light, but it's still good. It's still good.
I cannot count on anybody for good help. I give her the cocktail, and we're live. We're recording a video. And she says, "I like the one yesterday better." I can't even
I
can't even reliably count on my own wife to say, "Yeah, that was great."
It is
Just
great.
give a simple endorsement of, hand me the bottle. Yeah, that was great. Thanks, hun.
If you like smoky whiskey, you're gonna love
You want to try that?
Still
You want to
tastes
try
like
that again?
applewood.
You want to try a take
It
two?
tastes fantastic.
Jesus Christ! You want to try a take two?
It tastes
Here.
fantastic.
Hand me the glass and say, "That tastes great."
That tastes great.
Okay, take three. Ready?
It's the ghost hand.
In three. In Jesus.
What?
Okay.
See, isn't that a gorgeous hand? That tastes great. What am I supposed to do?
Okay.
You told me to do it.
All right, ready? You gonna finish that?
If I finish this, you're gonna be carrying me to the bedroom because I won't be able to walk.
Hand me this glass. No, hand me that glass. Jesus, she's gonna chug the rest of that drink. Okay, so
That tastes great.
see, it's empty. She likes it. Thank you, my dear. she's gonna break all the glasses that I have here on the
So are you
table.
doing all of them? Because I don't suggest you do all of them tonight.
I'll do what I want to do.
It's like.
I'm a grown ass man. I can drink as many cocktails as I want. I'm not driving home.
Do you want to hear my reason why?
Jesus, what? I don't have to wake up in the morning.
It smells like charred applewood. I can taste charred applewood.
Yes.
If you make a different one with a different flavor, you're not going to notice the difference.
She does have a very good point.
And it smells fantastic.
If you're gonna do this sort of thing,
did you learn not to put as many wood chips in?
Yeah, I'm not using as many wood chips.
So like a little.
She doesn't want to be on camera, but she's not going to stop talking to me during the show. You want to You want a microphone?
No.
All right. I love you, my dear. I'll talk to you all about it tomorrow. You could watch the show, and I could talk to you that way if you really wanna.
No.
So.
Love you.
I
can hear you in the other room.
Okay, thank you.
Not in the room.
Love you, baby.
Bye. You're gonna whistle and ask for ice, man?
Actually,
No.
yeah, bring me one of those piece of ice out of the tray. She is a peach. Now, I didn't use, this is a dirty bowl, but you'll see there are some wood chips that did not burn. Some of those wood chips are still, so I didn't burn it enough, or I either used too much wood or I didn't burn the chips enough. That's a dirty bowl too.
It's cold. It's cold. Take it. It's cold.
Jeez. It's ice. Love you, baby.
Bye.
And that's going to look like shit in the final video. Dirty damn bowl. But I don't have anything else to put it in. I don't have any clean bowls in here. All my bowls are dirty. But that's something that is important. Let me try that again. That's something that's important. Make sure that you burn all of the wood. You use the torch long enough to make sure the wood burns. So a full 45 seconds or so. I kind of cut it short at about 20 to 30 seconds. Finish this. But that's also, that is an important point. The room now smells like applewood. I have the applewood smell in my nose. And if you're mixing woods, you're going to have a very unusual play of flavors. Now, I want to do something a little bit heavier with the second one, so I'm going to switch to my special reserve, and I'm going to go with cherry with the special reserve, because the cherry wood has a distinct scent when you cook with it. Cherry wood has a very distinct scent when you cook with it, and a very distinct flavor when you age with it. And I am going to be very curious as to how clean glass and cherry wood plays out with my special reserve. This is a brand new flavor, something I hadn't tried before. There we go. One shot, fresh clean glass. We will go with a scoop of the cherry. Once again, one shot, one scoop of the cherry wood flakes. And you can see even the cherry wood consistency is a little bit different than the apple wood, just because the grain of the wood is longer, more unusual, or different than the apple. And now I'll also say that this will, I'm not going to say whether or not this is better or worse. It's different. It definitely changes the flavor of the whiskey. And it depends on your palate as to whether or not it's better or worse. Some people are going to like some woods, some people are going to like different other woods, and it's not going to be consistently the same for everybody. You're going to like, some people are going to like some people are going to like the others. And that's just how it goes. That cup is already, the glass is already filling up with smoke. It's perfect. That should be a good minute with the wood. I'm going to let it burn down. I'm going to cover it up. And you can see the glass, this is, jeez, it looks like foam. This glass is going to be very full of, we're going to have a very full flavor of cherry wood in this particular load. And you know, I've experimented with woods before, using pecan in our rye, but it was the full barrel. It was the full piece of wood. It wasn't just the smoke. It was the actual full chunk of wood. To influence the flavor. I'm going to swirl it around a little bit to try and get a little bit of that flavor into the whiskey itself. A little bit more of that contact on the surface area, a little bit more surface area. And like I said, if you do this with a shaker, if you're making 3 or 4 or 5 cocktails at a time, you do it with a shaker, you put 4 or 5 shots in there, you do the smoke, shake it up, that whiskey is going to interact a lot with the smoke, and you're going to get even more flavor from the smoke into the whiskey. And it's the same if you want to, if you're doing something like a Bloody Mary and you don't want to smoke the vodka, but you can smoke the Bloody Mary mix. Bloody Mary mix will soak up a lot of that flavor. Same thing with an Old Fashioned. You can do with the Old Fashioned mix. I don't know if this would be a particularly good idea to smoke something like a whiskey sour, but the whiskey may be good to smoke and then make it, mix it into a whiskey sour. I don't know. But if you like Scotch, if you like the flavor of a smoky Scotch, if you like the idea of smoking your cigar with your whiskey, this might not be a bad little. This might not be a bad little way to make some cocktails, because these do indeed. It definitely changes the flavor of the whiskey. It is not in my head. And then if I lift the hat, the smoke just floats right out, as it does. I got a fairly solid burn on this one. I'm going to dump these ashes out onto the hat here. And we're going to see how much, still about half. See, there's still some wood down there at the bottom that did not burn. But I got more than half. When I spread it out, when I spread the ashes out, you can see I got a little bit more. I cooked it for almost a good solid minute this time. So I got a much more efficient burn than last time, or a much more thorough burn. Let's put it that way. All right, time to try the cherry wood with the special reserve. A little nervous. But let's try it. Let's see what we got. All right, I let the smoke dissipate so that my nose isn't in a bowl of smoke. It's not bad. Not a bad change. I can definitely taste the smoke. So what I do when I taste whiskey, I'll smell it as it comes in, and I'll kind of let it wash over the back of my tongue, and I'll kind of swish it back and forth before I swallow it. I can taste a difference between how my straight whiskey normally tastes and the smoked straight whiskey. There's definitely a smokier flavor to it. Obviously, I just put it in a bowl full of smoke. And after letting everything dissipate out of there was still plenty of flavor to be had. So I'll say it. I'll say it again for the third time. As a noted curmudgeon and a very skeptical, a very skeptical purveyor of gimmicky type of things, this is not gimmicky. This is actually really. It's a really effective way to. I mean, it's a cocktail. It's what you it's what you do with cocktails. You take bitters and sugars and spices, and you throw them all together, and you shake it up, and you take the drink, and that's what you do with a cocktail. And I mean, I'm I'm gonna stand on my uh, uh, stand on my mark and hold my ground that if it's what you need to do to change the flavor of your whiskey, get a different whiskey. Just drink a different whiskey. That's fine. That's fine. But if it's what you want to do as a flavoring for your drink, for your cocktail, to do cocktails, it's a great, it's a very effective way to mix up a cocktail and change up the flavor and change up the spices a little bit. Change up the spice up the evening with a little bit different type of flavor for your cocktail. I mean, not everybody does Bloody Marys. I'm not a big fan in general. Not everybody does whiskey sours. Not everybody does old fashions. Not everybody does rum and cokes. But man, a nice smoky rum. Throw that in with a little bit of Coke. That'd be a nice drink. A nice smoky tequila versus a smoky. I don't know if it would work out well with beers. Smoky beer. Nah, you wouldn't want smoky beer. But yeah, I am now. I am a convinced skeptic. This is going to be a feature at our bar at the distillery. Of the ability to have a smoky cocktail. If you are interested in a smoky cocktail, we will have smoky cocktails at our bar. I am a converted skeptic. It is a legit way to make a decent and delightful cocktail. Nice change of pace for if you've got a bar full of the same. I wonder if this would make my absinthe taste like something other than shit. What would go with absinthe? Oh, we'll talk about that later. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, children of all ages, I am the Old Humble Guy. This has been, I don't know, what the fuck am I going to call this? This has been This has been a cocktail minute. Yeah, we'll go with that. I don't know. I'll think of something. We'll fix this in post. Anyway, back to the regular show. Where's the main cam? Main cam. There it is. Bam. That was fun. See you Friday. Jin Bimbo. Where? Okay, I'm gonna come back to chat in just a second. This is actually. The cherry wood is good. I'm really satisfied with this. I really am. It did. It did. It's a very subtle but noticeable change to the flavor. And again, it's all about the. I mean, the science involved makes. It makes sense. There's like math and shit that you could do, but literally, it's going from the surface, and it kind of gets drawn in with temperature change. The temperature change draws it in, and that's what makes the thing happen. You know what? I'm going to turn on chat. We're going to go to the second half of the show. Guys, thanks for bearing with me through this like experimental phase of my life. I'm going to now. This piece of ice right here, was smoked with walnut. So I think I'm going to go with the rye on the walnut ice. And let it mingle in there for a little bit. The rye has a lot of flavor, though. Now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go with the special reserve with the walnut ice, because that's going to be a cool combo of flavors, I think. Where's my, oh, there it is. That's going to be a cool combo of flavors. And I'll probably be back tomorrow live. We'll talk about more of this shit, and I'll have the bar all built out and stuff. And, oops, is that the one? Where's the chat? Where's the damn chat window? Hello, chat window. Chat window. Open up, chat window. Where are you? There it is. Boom, chat window. Welcome to chat, everybody. It is 10:52. Bacon's in the house. Cheers, Bacon. I'm going to scroll up and catch up to chat. Where are we? This is where I remember being. Your half kegs. That's the last thing I remember seeing. But I'm gonna catch up to chat in just a minute. We're gonna get moving. Dustin's in the house. Oh, there's Dustin. Cheers, Dustin. Dustin, I missed you. But I'm glad to see you. Cheers. So that was the Cherrywood Special Reserve. And again, these are going to be at the bar. We'll have the regular cocktails at the bar, and then the special smoking section if you want to come over and have a smoked cocktail. At the bar, at the distillery, in the tasting room. I have a music box. It says, "May the force be with you," on the lid. See? This was a Christmas present. My family loves me. I love my family. Anyway. Focus, Old Humble Guy. Those fumes got to my brain. Yeah, this is where I remember being. You tweeted the show. Thanks, Jen. I appreciate that. Do I follow you on Tweeters? Twitter is a never-ending source of joy sometimes. Like my senator today, I saw tweets. My senator today was trending because he was in Laredo. No, he was in Lubbock, touting I-27 being a new freeway corridor that was going to bring prosperity and jobs and great bipartisan success and blah, 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 blah. He voted against it. So, yeah, I'm going to call him up tomorrow and thank him for supporting that legislation that made the Ports to Plains Freeway I-27 a reality. and make his office tell me actually he didn't vote for it. It's going to be so much fun. I love calling his office. Those poor staffers, they're the worst. They have the worst job. They're good, fine folks, but they're in the worst position of human beings on the planet because they're like decent people who are trying to like just make money and make a way. And some of them are true believers, but some of them are just like, yeah. It's the only job we can get. And bless their fine, sweet little hearts. Anyway, but thank you, Jen. We just followed each other. We're now Facebook or Twitter friends. Easy Street with Jen. Thank you for following me on Twitter, and also thank you for following me on the YouTubes. Let's go. Bimbo Barbarella got back into the party. Cheers, Bimbo. You write a song about Mr. Whiskey. If you write a song about me or the whiskey, I will absolutely. I will change the theme song from whatever it is, low ground, whatever. What is the damn theme music? The intro music that I use. Billy in the Low Ground by Not Keef in the Hot Buttered Rum. I will absolutely change that music out in a fucking heartbeat. In a heartbeat, without question. That would be so much fun. That would be absolutely. And also, by the way, I really do appreciate the invitation to come up on your show last week. I'm really sorry that the technical difficulties kept me from being able to speak or interact or do anything, but I really do think it would be fun to keep coming back and doing the same thing. Like every time I come on your show, my microphone's muted, my camera's not working, something is just not working, but like at the end of the show. I don't want to interrupt the rest of the important stuff, but like I'll pop in at the end of the show and my microphone isn't working. We're like, well, the whiskey guy is just his tech is just shit. He can't be. We keep trying. We'll try again next week, and then the next week I come on the show and my microphone's not working or my camera's frozen or whatever it is. It would just be absolutely hilarious. Just a running joke on every time I pop into your show through Restream or whatever. Yeah, it's Restream. That's the website you're using. Every time I pop into your show, my shit just does not work. It is just a disaster every single time. Because that'd be funny. That would be the absolute. That would be peak Old Humble. as a noted curmudgeon who just can't seem to get shit to work straight. Anyway, I'm glad somebody made that joke that he made wood. Or he said wood. Yes, I did. I said wood a lot. That is, Bimbo, my general complaint with cocktails my general complaint with cocktails is that it's too much fucking work to have a drink. You know, I mean, if there's more than 2 steps between grabbing your drink and drinking your drink, it feels like work. You know, you reach into the ice chest, you grab a beer, you pop the beer, you drink the beer. There's not a whole lot of distance between intent and success. You know, you take a glass, throw in some ice, pour in some whiskey, you have a drink. Cocktails run that fine line. The simple cocktails are great. That's one of the reasons why I tolerate the mix for an old fashioned. You pour in you throw in some ice, you pour in some whiskey, you drop in some mix, stir it. You're drinking. You're ready to go. You're having old fashions. You're pounding down old fashions. Throw in a few bitters if you want to. You don't need to. Boom. You're just pounding them. You can double fist old fashions all afternoon. Cream soda and whiskey, ginger ale and whiskey. You can, it's one boom, drinking, done, finished. You're set. But man, when you start getting into this stuff, where it's a scoop and it's a burn and it's a lot about presentation. It's a lot about presentation. It's a lot about the mixology and the art and aura and all the shit surrounding it. as a noted curmudgeon, I'm going to say that word a lot tonight because this is a cocktail-y type of thing. As a curmudgeon, that's like, I'm like, nah, you know, fuck that. Whiskey neat. If you're doing too much to it, you're just fucking around. You're not really drinking whiskey. You're drinking Coke with whiskey in it. You know, whatever. But at the same time, it's a nice change of pace, especially if it's the first couple of drinks of the night. It kicks things off. It gives you, you do the smoked cocktails for the first drinks of the night, and then the last drinks of the night, you're just, passing the bottle back and forth and drinking it straight out of the fucking bottle. One of my favorite nights, one of my absolute favorite nights, there's a music festival going on right now called the River Revival. One of my favorite nights was the first River Revival I went to. It was after everything had shut down. We're in a literal drum circle with this band called Folk Family Revival. Literal drum circle. Noah's over here, and Garrett and all the guys. They're sitting around playing the guitar, playing the drums. There's a bong going one way and a bottle of my whiskey going the other way, and these are the two elixirs are going around this. Am I supposed to say bong out loud? Well, whatever. Going around the circle, and we're just drinking whiskey, smoking, talking astronomy, and listening to music, and we're just having a fucking great time. It was like 4 in the morning when we finally stopped. When they stopped playing music, and we hung out for another 2 or 3 hours, and the sun's coming up, and we got to go back to our campsite. The River Revival is this cool thing. I should take a drink of this. Okay, the smoked ice doesn't do a whole lot for the drink. But anyway, the River Revival is this cool thing. It's a music festival that's literally on the river of the Guadalupe, the banks of the Guadalupe River. It is camping, music, free food, free drink, just a whole fucking vibe for a 4-day weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a whole vibe. It's just music and nature, and you're just chilling out in the river and enjoying yourself and having a grand fucking time. And it is possibly the best music festival. Well, it's one of only 3 music festivals that I've ever been to, but it is easily top 5. But anyway, what was I saying? But yeah, I mean, we're not sitting there in the drum circle passing around cocktails. We're not shaking up whiskey sours or doing, trash can rum punch shit with Campari and all the stuff and making 5-gallon cocktails. And we're not doing any of that crap. We're just, here's some whiskey. Here's a mixer for your whiskey. If you want a mixer, it's one thing. It's this thing that's in this 5-gallon jug. You just done. There's your mixer. That's it. Done and done. Simple, easy. You want to. I'm a big fan of simple and easy, but at the same time, I'm not opposed to doses of fancy and extravagant. I mean, who doesn't like dolling themselves up and jumping in a limo and going across town to get out on a red carpet event? That's like dream time. I mean, I fucking do that for a comedy show, and they're like, "Who's that?" Like, yeah, you don't know me. Trust me. You wish you did. I love it. I've only done it a couple of times in my entire life, but it is, one time for our anniversary, I went and picked up my lovely wife in a limo and brought her to a special retreat hotel in downtown Houston where we got to play tourists for a week. I mean, we didn't live but 15 miles away from the hotel, but we got to play tourists for the weekend, and we made up fake names. I made the reservation under a fake name, and we were tourists from Iowa. We'd never been around buildings this big. This is amazing. How do y'all even know where y'all going? Because y'all can't even see where everything is because all these damn buildings around here. This is amazing. Ain't a cornfield to be seen. The hotel staff got really annoyed with us really fast. We got really annoyed with me really fast. She played along, to her credit. It's one of the reasons I married her. I love her to death. She'll play along with my nonsense. But what the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, but every now and then doing extravagant and fancy, especially for the first drinks of the night. Like this is the theme of the night. We'll have a fancy fucking cocktail, and then, you know, by the third quarter, you're just drinking straight whiskey. You know, cocktails are for the early part of the night. The rest of the night, you just pound them. Whatever, doesn't even matter. Anyway, Bacon's here for a bit, helping Doc get the rest of his watch hours. So Doc, okay. So Safety Doc needs watch hours. Let's go raid Safety Doc for a minute. Safety Doc. I'm gonna need watch hours after a while, no doubt. Stock market math is what he's streaming on. Let's hit him up. Okay. So Safety Doc raid. Go Old Humble. Hashtag Old Humble raid. Let's go hit Safety Doc. Did I just post that? I think I did. Okay. Let's go hit Safety Doc. Cheers. Safety Doc. Oops. Doc. Hashtag Old Humble raid. There we go. So all four of you can go harass Safety Doc for a few minutes. I'm sure I've got more than 4 people watching right now. No, 2. Fuck it. That's okay. Okay. That's the word that I was looking for earlier. Thermophoresis. Yes, that's the one. Thermophoresis. That was the one word that I could not remember. Force of temperature gradient. That's a thing. So it says the historian of the College of Knowledge. I actually had that page up before I closed everything down and restarted my computer. Better than yesterday. What happened yesterday? Well, who's watching Bill? Oh, you're watching me. I'm Bill Nye the Science Guy. Is there a Bruce's yam flavored kit? If there's a wood that can be dried and burned, there's a flavoring kit for it. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. Got your yams right here. And fluids was first noticed in 1967 by Dwyer in a theoretical solution, and the name was coined by. Okay, that's a bunch of. You read more of that Wikipedia article than I did. I just skimmed it. But when I read when I skimmed through the science involved, that was when I was convinced that it wasn't just a gimmick, that there was actual stuff to it. And then when I actually drank the drink, I think this thing came in. I think this arrived on like Sunday or Monday, and I didn't take the first drinks until last night. So that's how long I put this off. I just want to sniff it. She is an absolute treasure, isn't she? She is an absolute treasure. I love her to death. Even if I couldn't get her to just simply say the lines. There's a diminishing return when it comes to feeding her drinks. She's a 2-drink she's a 2-drink maximum type of gal. She's a 2-drink maximum type of gal. She is if I feed her too many drinks, she becomes incapacitated and no fun at all. Can we have her jump into chat? I tried to get her to jump in, but she did not participate. She is She will likely be asleep. In fact, she's probably asleep now. It's 11 o'clock my time. And we are 22 minutes behind in chat still. Uh, and then she can see all of our stupid comments. There we go. Snap forward in time. Gotta get back to work on on your show. That's right, because your Friday. I'm telling you, Barbarella, if I can come onto your show again tomorrow, Friday night, well, I'm going to be doing my show on Friday night, the live music on Friday night. I'll try to come in. I'll try. We'll see. Maybe it'll be a couple of weeks. It might be next week before I can jump back into your show. But I'll pop in, and I will have my microphone not working, or the camera not working, or something not working. Something will not be functioning properly when I pop in next time I pop in. It's going to be an ongoing joke. It will be absolutely hilarious. Because they're all my tech issues. And your audience just won't. They'll just be like, who the fuck is this old man who doesn't know how to do shit? You're like, that's the old humble guy. Dun, 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 dun. Go check out his show. Vanessa Kitty's in the house. Cheers, Vanessa Kitty. I still haven't put your package in the mail. Sorry. It's coming. It's coming. Promise. Your package is coming. I promise. I just haven't done it yet. I have like 3 packages I have to send out. Yours is one of them. Promise, though. My favorite curmudgeon is a 78-year-old admitted alcoholic from Boston. We had a long conversation last week. Harvard grad with a brilliant science career. Oh. Admitted alcoholic, Harvard grad, brilliant career. Interesting. You're back in sub. Jen, you were already subbed. But I'm going to refresh this number. Just as I like watching the numbers go up. We were at 804 this morning. We added a sub today. With my last short, we added a sub. I have no idea what the stock market is doing right now, but the stock market is not the economy. I'm always skeptical about the. I wish Safety Doc was doing last night, because then I could. Actually, you know what? The longer this ice has sat in the whiskey, the more the whiskey has taken on a flavor of the smoke. But I didn't smoke this ice very heavily. This is interesting. The way the flavor is changing in this is very interesting. I was just in. Oh, thank you, Vanessa. So, how do you smoke a drink? Okay, well, I'll recap. No, absolutely. I'll absolutely recap, because where are we at? We're just about caught up to chat, so I can slow down the talk. Here, boom. How do you smoke a drink? That's a great question. Glad you asked. Happy to answer it. So let's go. So I got this kit. It's a good time to reset. I got this kit. This kit from Amazon, and it was something, I don't remember the exact price, but it was, I believe, about $25, $35, somewhere in that neighborhood. It came with some whiskey stones, some stainless steel whiskey stones that I have in my freezer. Has a little shovel, has a little pipe cleaner. It has one of those little wooden top hat thingies, a butane torch, and 4 different types of wood. Now, these little bits of wood can be gotten. You can order the wood separately. It's just wood chips. You can order the wood separately, or if you happen to own a distillery and you have a ready supply of wooden planks that you can just slice up and trim up into wood. You have a ready supply of already charred oak that you can make cocktails with. But this particular kit came with pecan, cherry, apple, and walnut. Now, there's two different ways to do the wood to smoke your whiskey. You can have one of these little wooden top hat thingies, and you put it on top. You put the wood inside the little basket. It's a little tea basket, basically. You put the wood inside there, you fire it up, you smoke it, and then as the wood starts to smoke, the smoke falls down through these little holes, cascades down into your drink, and then you have a nice smoky head on your cocktail, and that smoky head on your cocktail at the transition point between the gas and liquid, that is when the transaction begins to occur. So when you light wood on fire, the smoke that comes off of it is actual particulate matter. It's charred carbon, oxidized carbon, if you will. But with that is sugars, tannins, flavor compounds, and other things that actually comes out of the wood. That's why some wood, when you smell wood burning, you have the noxious fumes in your nose and your mouth. You can smell the smoke. You can smell a house burning. But also, there's flavorful woods like walnut, apple, cherry, pecan, oak, mesquite, hickory. There's a bunch of flavorful woods that have very flavorful compounds that you can use in barbecue, and those flavor compounds are in the actual particulate of the smoke, and the smoke is hot, and if you can condense that smoke into a liquid or solid surface, then you can have liquid smoke, you can have frozen smoke and ice, you can have smoke compounds into your food. And you'll know, I know, most of us know this. When you get into a car from somebody who's a smoker, you can smell the smoke, the nicotine, the cigarette smoke that gets trapped inside the car. That's the same principle as smoking meat, and it's the same principle you can use for smoking actual liquids. So what happens with the liquids is that thermomitosis, thermomigration, and Jen, give me the word. What was that word? Thermophoresis. Thermophoresis is the other term for it. But basically, all those things mean the same thing. What happens is the flavor compounds, when you hit a liquid, it transfers from the warm part of liquid to the cool part of liquid. It's kind of a convection current. So what will happen is at the transition point between the solid and the liquid, the air, the fluid air and the fluid liquid, you'll get this thermomitosis, thermoregesis. That's not the right word. But you get that thermomitosis where the compounds basically condense out of the air into the liquid and then transition through the liquid. So what I always thought it was that you're basically taking a nose full of the air, because you put your nose in your glass. You take a nose full of the air that's in the glass, and as your nose fills up with those flavor compounds, it affects the flavor, and then when the liquid actually goes into your tongue, you've got a nose full of that flavor, and that's what you're actually tasting. I was 100% wrong. The flavor actually gets caught into the liquid. And it's the same principle with the ice. You can take a glass with 3 chunks of ice, put the hat onto the ice, and that ice cube will coagulate that smoke onto the surface of the ice cube. And if the ice melts, the liquid that melts off the ice, the water that melts off the ice, will also collect up those flavor compounds. And then when you put the ice back in the tray and pour the water onto the ice, that water will have those flavor compounds. They'll be frozen into the ice as well. So there's a whole bunch of science involved, and the net result of all of that is when I actually do it and do it right. Yeah, I can see the flavor change. I can see the difference. I can see the flavor change. And if you want to actually see it live happening, go back to about 20 minutes into the show, 30 minutes into the show. You can see it actually happening. Big fat head of smoke. And it's not just affecting. It's not just the smoke affecting your nose and tongue. The smoke is actually getting into the liquid, because when you pull the top hat off, the smoke dissipates out into the sky, into the air, into the atmosphere around you, and what's left in the glass is just whatever air's in the glass, just the general air. But the flavor compounds that actually get into the whiskey, that is the flavor compounds that actually I mean, you get you obviously currently my room smells like cherry wood and applewood, because those were the two that we used tonight. This room smells like that. I've got a fan going. I don't think I have a fire. I do not have a smoke detector in this room. That's good. But the room smells like both of those woods. But the flavor in the actual whiskey is, because this ice was dosed with pecan, if I'm not mistaken, and it was either pecan or walnut, and this definitely does not taste like cherry wood. So there you go. There's your science content for the evening, if you are interested in science content. I was looking at his blog earlier. You subbed to Safety Doc. Good. He deserves it. Safety Doc should get all the subs. His books are. I bought his book. His last book. His last book. The Velocity of Information, which is not about velociraptors. It is about the speed of processing information. And it was fun. It's a good book, good read. You can smoke maple syrup. You can smoke honey. You can smoke simple syrups. You can smoke just about anything that is that has an electrostatic charge to it. And by that, I mean it has some kind of water base. It has positive and negative molecules. So water, as we all know, has a positive and negative, H2 and O. The O is, I believe, the negative, I think, and the H's are the positive. Could be wrong about that. But H2O has a very is charge worthy. So if there's any water content whatsoever to what you're trying to smoke, syrups have water content. Mixers, cocktail mixers, juices have water content. Anything that has a water content will take that has an electrostatic charge will absolutely take a nice smoky flavor to it. But also anything that has a water base to it, but also anything that has the other thing. I can't remember what the other thing was. Shit. Anything that's porous. If it's porous, it'll trap the smoke. If it has a electrostatic charge, it will attract the smoke. So those are the two very common things you can use for smoking. Now, also, if you are interested in doing a smoky type of cocktail and adding smoke and adding flavor to your cocktail, you could just simply take a piece of wood. Do I have any piece of wood around here? I do. Where is it? Here. You can take a piece of oak. This is a dowel, a large dowel, but if you had a smaller one, a smaller diameter dowel, you could take it and light it with your butane torch. you could take this, light the end of it. There we go. You just light the end of it and smoke it. You burn it. Burn the end of your dowel like so. Light it on fire. Burn the end of your dowel. And literally just take this and put it in your drink. This is literally how we age whiskey. We take a chunk of oak, or oak barrels in this case, but we could take a chunk of oak and put it in your drink. Oak and Eden does this. You can get the, they have a piece of oak inside the barrel. Oops, I don't want that in there. Not that far in there. But that is another way you can add a nice charred, oaky flavor to your drinks. Just take a standard oak dowel that you get at Home Depot or oak trim or anything like that. Put it on your barbecue grill. Char it. Just char the outside. Don't burn it. You don't want it to actually be on fire. Just char it. Give it a nice char, and then use it to as a stir for your drinks. It works. I'll do a show on that in the next couple of weeks. So there you go. Smoked maple syrups, thermoregisis, that's the word. Different particle types, yes, exactly. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Jen. The term thermophoresis most often applies to ascend mixtures through the free path, blah, 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 blah. Cannot be, what does that mean? What are you saying? Cannot be what? Yeah, I'm sure. Commonly referred to the phenomenon in all phases of matter. The term soret normally applies to liquid mixtures. Less well understood mechanisms in gaseous mixtures. Thermo may not, blah, 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 blah. Allergic to mesquite, cedar, and redwood, I must be extremely careful. Oh, yeah, I bet so. If you're allergic to mesquite, you got to be really careful around barbecue because there's a lot of slow cooked barbecues that are mesquite, hickory, excuse me, mesquite, hickory, pecan, apple, and other things that are very, very common. So the kit, as I said, the kit is available at Amazon. If y'all, well, I mean, I could make some kits myself if y'all want them from the Old Humble Distilling Company. But yeah, just go to Amazon, look up, let me find it. Amazon. I'll tell you exactly what kit that I found. If I find it. Is that the one? That's a solar panel. Why the hell are solar panels? There are plenty of them available. The most expensive part of it is the butane torch. I mean, once you get the wood chips, once you get to the point where you're just replacing wood chips, rather, the wood chips are just easy to get. You can, slice up wood chips, dried pine, all kinds of cool stuff, and then you just get to the point where you can experiment and play. Track and manage your orders. Is that the one I want? That's the one. Let me tell you exactly how much it cost me. It was it was Bish Bash Cocktail Smoke. Oh, it was $38.80. It was $40. I thought it was about $35. My mistake. But all in all, worth it. If you just want the but again, if you just want the oak, if you just want the wood chips, the wood chips are really, really cheap, and not hard to get a hold of them. You should sample the water from the smoker. Yeah, and that's a great way to do it. Just throw down some smoke on some water, and then taste the liquid smoke that way. That's a great way to do it. School of Errors. School of Errors. Yeah, that was his first book, School of Errors. That's right. I think he has another one coming out soon. I think he has another one coming out. H2O, IHI, H plus ions and water, OH ions. But yeah, if you have a butane torch, or if you have a lighter that will light the wood, and if you have some way of trapping the fire into a place and then just dropping it onto your because I'm going to make one more cocktail using, I'm going to do the cherry wood one more time, but I'm going to do this with the ice and, oops, that's the wrong glass there. I'm going to use the keep the ice in the jar this time. And do one more demonstration and show y'all how cool this is with the cherry wood. So I open it up. I take my little shovel, drop the cherry wood in there, tap, tap, close it up, put it back where it goes. Now, when you light the torch, of course, you light the torch away from the hat because you don't want the butane to get into your drink. But then, like about a minute, until you start seeing the smoke fill up the cup. Look at there. Cascading, billowing down. Delicious. Get a nice head of smoke in there. And then you just cover it up. And you let it be. Let it be what it's going to be. Just like that. Just let it sit for a minute. Literally for 1 minute. Like 60 seconds. Here? This side of my face. Yeah. So you let it sit for about 60 seconds. And then you pop it out. Bimbo, I'm so glad you're here. I love you. Thank you. Thank you for your support. You're awesome. Water has 2 ions in as well as the H2O molecules. That is science content beyond my pay grade. I know that water has a charge to it, and that's why it's so good at dissolving things. And if water didn't exist, nature would make something equivalent to water to help it exist, so that it could continue, so that we could dissolve things more efficiently. Some other molecule that has some that has really good soluble qualities. Now there you go. That is it. You get a head of smoke. Let it do its thing. And this is a special reserve and cherry wood smoke. I'm going to give it one more pop. To make sure that the wood is nice and consumed. I'm going to adjust it around and make sure that I get all the wood nice and cooked. Nice and smoky. Looks like foam. Nice and smoky. And again, now Lisa, my Thursday night co-host, she does not like smoky, she doesn't like scotches, she doesn't like smoky whiskeys. I'm a real big fan. my this Japanese whiskey that we did, I'm a real big fan of smoky scotches and smoky whiskeys. I like to sit back and have a cigar with my whiskey on occasion. I'm a big fan of the smokiness with the whiskey. I like it. If that's the sort of thing you like, this is the sort of cocktails that you're going to like. And with the temperature change, the ice is going to absorb a lot of this smoke. The ice is going to absorb some of this smoke, but also the coolness of the whiskey is going, and you can actually see it. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can. If that picks up on camera, but you can see it down here at the bottom, around the bottom of the ice. There's like a little. You can see a little bit of the impurities getting into the whiskey down there at the bottom near the ice. So it makes it even more. The temperature variance makes it even, apparently, is making it even more attractive to the smoke, which is really cool. Which is literally really cool. I'm going to dump the wood. There's still a lot of heat in here. So this is how much wood is left from my scoop. Definitely burned it up. All that, definitely a clean burn. And now with taking the top hat out, you can see there's condensation inside the glass there, but there's not. All the smoke has escaped and gotten out. There's still a little bit of the flavor in there still. I can smell it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I am a true believer. I am an absolute true believer. I am convinced. The science has convinced me. But the proof is in the taste. You know, you put something in your mouth, and if you're not a believer when you swallow, then it's just not for you. I suppose that's how that goes. But it's definitely it definitely changes the flavor. I'm not going to make a value judgment as to whether it makes it better or worse. But it definitely changes the flavor. Yeah, this is going to be a feature at our bar. This will absolutely be a feature at our bar at the distillery. The bar that I just finished making today, as a matter of fact. So yeah, good stuff. The two hydrogen atoms actually close to one side of the oxygen atom. That shape of the molecule is when ice freezes, it floats. Oh, is why ice freezes it floats. Ah, that makes sense. I get that. But yeah, it's a good kit. They're not paying me to endorse them, but there it is. I'm not going to say their name out loud. But that's who they are. That's the kit. $40, only $40. And you know, when I was researching these, I was looking at them. I was curious about them around Christmas time. They were all like $50, $60 or something like that, and they didn't come with a torch, or it was it was a dome, and it was all kinds of silly nonsense. And I was looking at it like, this just looks like dumb hype. And that was my opinion. That was my opinion back at the end of last year, the beginning of this year. I looked at it, and the thought process was that you're just getting a nose full of smoke and a mouth full of smoke. It's not actually doing anything to the whiskey. If you did this process with the whiskey and then poured the whiskey into another container and then drank out of that other container, you wouldn't know the difference. You wouldn't know that anything had happened. I'm happy to say that I was incorrect about that. I was wrong. That it actually does affect the flavor, because I've done I did a control last night. We did 2 different cocktails, a control and a smoked, and I could tell the difference. I could absolutely tell the difference in just the whiskey between the smoked and the control. Um, I haven't done a double blind test yet, but I can tell. I mean, I can tell the difference between this, the cherry wood and the apple wood, and the apple wood and the walnut. Yeah, I can tell. It's not bad. And again, really cool with the presentation. First couple of cocktails of the night, great way to do drinks. But when you're 5 drinks in, 6 drinks in, when you're 3 hours in, you're talking about fourth quarter of the football game, and you're waving around a butane torch. That's probably a bad idea. Probably shouldn't do that at that point in the night. Just don't. Just don't. And that's my general complaint with cocktails is that it's just too much fucking work. But you drink the first 2 or 3, and if you do it well, you do it right. You drink the first 2 or 3, you are incapable of mixing a 4th and 5th, and then you just make beer and whatever. But you're drinking whiskey. You can't make cocktails with beer. Beer cocktails are crap. They're garbage. They're terrible. Only terrible people drink beer cocktails. Don't do that. Don't drink whatever micheladas or whatever the fuck they're called. Don't do that. But the first couple drinks of the night, you're drinking cocktails. You're having some fun. That's fine. If you're 3 hours in, 4 drinks in, and you still can't drink whiskey, you need to just stop. Just start drinking ciders. Just start, yeah. I mean, come on, man. Gal, whoever, whatever. I mean, there's got to be a whiskey that you like. Somewhere in the great panoply of whiskeys, there's got to be just one you like. And if you're making the cocktails, by the time you're in 3, 4, 5 drinks, you're bad at making cocktails. You're not making them good anymore. Just stop. If you're making a bartender do it, that's fine. Drunk people making bartenders work. That's the bartender's life. But if you're doing it at home, there's got to be something. I mean, by the time you're into your 5th cocktail, you're doing it badly. You're drinking badly made cocktails, is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to keep going on that. I won't keep going on that. But let's hear. It's 11:45. We're getting close to midnight. We're getting close to the 2-hour mark for the show. We're going to just wrap this up, kids. How about that? Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, Chillology, thank you for joining me for the show. This has been fun. This has been a very fun, scientific, practical science, and even a little philosophical when it comes to cocktails. An exploration of smoked cocktails. Smoked cocktails. I'm a true believer. I started off as a legit skeptic. Maybe even more. No, I was willing to acknowledge the possibility. Because if you're not willing to acknowledge the possibility, you're not even exploring the option, right? So I was at least willing to acknowledge the possibility, which is why I bought the kit to begin with. But I was fully convinced that it was just a load of crap. That these smoked cocktails are just nonsense. It's a presentation. It's more flair than function. It's more show than reality. Happy to say that I was wrong. It actually does influence the flavor of the whiskey. It actually does change the flavor of the drink, and you can do it with a lot of cool things. You can do it with your mixers. You can do it with honey. You can do it with syrup. You can do it with simple syrups, including old-fashioned mixes and bitters and old-fashioned mixes, bitters and simple syrups, and what was the other one that I was going to say? Old-fashioned, simple syrup, ice. You can do it straight up with ice. You can do it straight up with water. You can have water, smoked water, just ready to put into your mixers. In fact, smoked water, while the surface of the ice will absorb the smoke, water will absorb more of it, and then you can take that water and freeze it and make smoky ice that is smoky through and through. Even better. But that said, of course you can do it with the whiskey, and you can do it on a per drink basis. If that's the sort of thing you like, different strokes for different folks. If that's the sort of thing you like, do it. If that's not the sort of thing you like, if you don't like a nice smoky scotch, you don't like a nice smoky whiskey, you don't like a nice smoky bourbon, pass. Go on and do something else. Drink, rums, or just drink the whiskey you like. Don't, that's fine. It's up to you. You're the boss. You drive that bus. You do what you want to do. But if you want to crack out of your curmudgeon shell like me every once in a while, kids still need to get the fuck off my lawn. You damn kids. But every once in a while, I don't have any problem watching them shoot off their fireworks in the street in the right context. So, all that said, folks, I will see you at the distillery on Friday night. We will have live music. Our returning champions, the wonderfully talented Same Old Circles. Is that the one? No, that's not the one. That the one? No, that's not the one. That's the one. Nope. Yeah, that's one of the ones. Where is Same Old Circles? Is that no, not that one. Sub 1000 Friday nights. Where's the Friday night? Is that it? It's one of these. That's the one right there. Boom. 9/23/2020. Music starts at 5 or 7. Doors open at 5. Music starts at 7. The live stream will start between 6:30 and 7 o'clock. Be there, or we're all going to talk about you. We're going to point. You're not going to be allowed to sit at our table in the cafeteria during lunch. We will mock you, point at you. We will spread rumors. We will do just that. I'm kidding. We won't be mean girls about it, but definitely tune in, catch the show, catch Same Old Circles. If you can't be there in person, we'd rather have you there in person because I like the company. Otherwise it'd just be me and the trees, and it's no fun. But anyway, be awesome to each other. Think with your whole brain, love with your whole heart. Be present in the moment. And as always, be awesome to each other. Cheers to you and yours. We will see you. We'll see you very soon. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.